Protein fillers are a separate application that you usually do before you color your hair. They are targeted for people who have overly processed, damaged hair. Protein fillers come in packets, sprays, bottles like aphogee, two-step treatment. That one's from Sally's. Treatments like this work by filling any gaps or holes that you've created in your hair. And by gaps and holes, I mean damage. So pretend this is a hair shaft under a microscope. It's blown up. When we color, lighten, blow dry, flat iron, etc., we create damage to our hair. Mostly at a microscopic level, but sometimes you can visually see it, especially on overprocessed blonde hair. The ends will be frayed, frizzy, going all kinds of ways, mushy even. That's just from an overuse of chemicals. So let's say we have pretty damaged hair. It looks like this under a microscope, and we want to color our hair darker. We'll do this purple color. On hair that's fairly healthy, you can apply the color. The end result will look mostly like the swatch if you've done the formula correctly. A nice solid brown. But on damaged hair, if we take that same color and we color our hair strand, what's going to happen is the hair color is going to do this. It's going to follow those holes, the potholes. It will not fill in the potholes. It's just following them. So if you put a darker color on hair that's overly damaged, when light reflects this little dip, it's going to appear a lot darker just in those spots. If you've ever seen someone who has a very splotchy hair color, they could have benefited from using a filler to fill in the potholes before they colored their hair. Because again, the color cannot fill in this pothole. It's just going to go around it. You cannot color empty space. You can't color something that's not even there. So the solution to this is a protein filler. Now remember, if you're going three or more levels darker, you are going to use a color filler. And that video is gonna be linked below. So what a protein filler is going to do, and again, this is our hair strand, it's got lots of potholes in it. Protein fillers look very similar to a thicker conditioner. It's gonna go in and coat the outer layer of the hair, which is called the cuticle, and it's also going to fill in the potholes. So now when we go in and apply our darker hair color right here, it has an even canvas to work with because of our protein filler. Our protein filler is filling in all those holes that are happening. You can use protein fillers as a standalone service. You can use them before coloring. It's going to help your hair color stay longer, make it a more vibrant, true to the swatch color, and it's also going to make your hair look shiny or shinier. However, it is a temporary fix. It's very similar to patching a hole in the wall, and not like a thumbtack hole, like someone punched a hole in the wall. They need anger management. That's not okay. So here's our giant hole in the wall. We can absolutely patch this hole. You use one of those little mesh things, and then you apply spackle over it. Put paint, wallpaper, whatever over this, and you're not gonna be able to tell there's a hole in the wall. But at the end of the day, there's still a hole in the wall. You wouldn't hang a heavy mirror from this patched up hole. Now, if you have several holes in the drywall and you go through and you just patch those suckers up, there's a lot of temporary fixes happening. But eventually you're going to need to just get a new sheet of drywall. Same theory with your hair. If you're patching up a lot of damage, the best way to totally correct this is to cut it off, because this is just offering you a very temporary fix. And you can absolutely try to repair your hair with something like Olaplex #3, which is not actually a protein filler. It does have a little bit of protein, but not enough for it to be categorized as a protein filler. Olaplex considers themselves a bonding agent that works from the inside out. Now, Olaplex does work, but it's important to remember that too much of a good thing absolutely is a bad thing. And that goes for Olaplex, protein fillers, deep conditioning max, any kind of repairing treatments or systems. You can overuse them and actually get the opposite effect of what you were aiming for. Back in with the holy hair. It's holy. I'm applying my protein filler. And I think to myself, wow, this did such an amazing job. I'm gonna do it again and again and again and again. It's got thick layers of a clear substance on top of this hair shaft. So I go in and I apply this darker color. What's gonna happen is it's going to slide off. There's too much product for the hair color to penetrate through. Another thing that's gonna happen if you do a protein buildup, which is what this is called, when you over compact treatments on top of each other, the weight from this. Remember, your hair doesn't weigh anything. So when you're constantly weighing it down, well, eventually it's just gonna snap in half, break, and that's how you get split ends, or one way to get split ends. If you're gonna use a protein treatment, the timing on it really varies on how often you can use it. I personally wouldn't do it more than once every 3 to 4 weeks, but that also depends on the condition of your hair. Because again, if your hair is so far gone, the best solution for you is to cut it off. That's not the most glamorous answer. I do it all the time. I just cut my hair off again. It's just the best way to start over. How can anything grow if it's looking like this, damaged, weight it down, start over, color it less, do some oil treatments, massages, and just kind of enjoy the journey. But protein treatments like aphogee, protein treatment step 2 from Sally's, I think that's what it's called, they work really well in moderation. But I would definitely recommend a protein filler before you're coloring your hair, even if you have just a little bit of damage. It's going to help that hair color appear a solid color. Your hair is going to be more shiny. It's going to give you a better result. It's going to stick to your hair longer also.